Now, I never thought I'd have to play a Parkway Drive song from a Michael West video, but here we are. Now, the words hardcore and Sydney Opera House don't usually belong in the same sentence, yet Parkway Drive has pulled off what was once unthinkable, headlining 2 almost sold-out nights at one of the country's most prestigious venues. Yeah, okay, look, I can't do this at the same time. I'll be back. Let there be light! And yes, I know to the purists out there, I didn't play the riff exactly right, but unfortunately music doesn't usually pay, so we're doing this instead. Now, for decades, heavy music in Australia has had to fight for its own legitimacy. It has been pushed to the back pub rooms, or to warehouse gigs, or festival side stages, while the cultural establishment championed a more respectable genre. Now, with Parkway Drive's Opera House show, this isn't just a career milestone, this is actually a cultural shift, proving that Australian heavy music isn't just surviving, it's actually thriving. Now, Parkway Drive's rise from Byron Bay's sweaty, humid youth centres to global stages is the kind of story Australians should celebrate more often. When Parkway started in the early 2000s, they booked their own shows, played community and youth halls, and built a loyal following without the mainstream media and radio support. By 2010, they had cracked international markets, headlined global festivals, and won multiple awards, including the Arias.
And the aria goes to Parkway Drive!
Yeah! 3 of their most recent albums, Ire, Reverence and Darker Still, all hit #1 on the ARIA charts. Now fast forward to 2025 and Parkway Drive is not just Australia's biggest metal export, they are one of the world's premier heavy bands. They've headlined European festivals like Waken and Hellfest, packed out arenas across the US, and now they've come home and done a sold-out arena tour in Australia, which is unheard of for a genre like this. These opera house shows confirm what many in the heavy music scene have known for years. Australia produces some of the most exciting, innovative and technically gifted heavy bands in the world. Now, Australia is not the only country seeing heavy music break into the mainstream cultural spaces. Of course, if you might have tuned into the Paris Olympics last year, French metal band Gojira performed at the opening ceremony. Or maybe even Knocked Loose's performance on Jimmy Kimmel's show. Metal music is good and people are starting to recognise that. A move that would have been unheard a decade ago. Now finally, it's being recognised as an integral part of modern music, and especially in the Australian music scene. This shift isn't about ticket sales or Spotify streams, it's about cultural legitimacy. It's about acknowledging that heavy music, often dismissed as aggressive noise, is just as artistically valid as any other genre. And we better start respecting it. Parkway Drive's Opera House shows and Gojira's Olympic performance both signal that heavy music is no longer content to stay underground. It's demanding recognition. Now, of course, success always comes at a cost, right? So tickets for Parkway Drive's Opera House show has reached around the $300, $400 mark, sparking a bit of backlash from longtime fans, frustrated at rising ticket prices. But here I would like to make a point of difference. Whereas we saw recently with the Green Day or Blink-182 tours in Australia, which saw Live Nation and Ticketmaster drive up prices through a system they call dynamic pricing, which is a model where costs surge based on demand. Here in Australia, the key difference here is, unlike Ticketmaster's price gouging, Parkway Drive shows are investing back into their performance. Full-scale productions with pyrotechnics, theatrical staging, world-class lighting, and a majority Australian crew. This isn't just a band playing songs, it's an event. Meanwhile, global ticketing giants like Ticketmaster and Ticketek continue to dominate the industry, profiting from fees and inflated resale markets, often with little transparency. Parkway Drive's show proves that when artists reinvent their performances, rather than hiking prices, fans get the real value. I mean, did you go to the arena tour? It was incredible. I don't think I've ever seen an Australian act, let alone an international act, reach that kind of performance. Parkway Drive are investing in their shows, hiring Australian talent and using an Australian venue, and ensuring that every dollar spent goes into making their performance as massive as possible, rather than padding the pockets of multinational conglomerates. I'd like to describe this as like a bit of a turning point for Australian heavy music. You know, the music's always been good. Parkway Drive's triumph is a reminder that heavy music is not just surviving, it's thriving in Australia. And more importantly, it's proof that heavy music can break beyond its traditional spaces. If Parkway Drive can sell out the Opera House and Gajira can play the Olympics, then what's stopping Australian metal and hardcore from continuing this upward trajectory? For decades, and yes I do mean decades, Australia's heavy scene has been producing world-class bands. Northlane, Polaris, Thyidas, Murta, Amity Affliction, In Heart's Wake, even these guys, Ocean Sleeper. What has been missing is the recognition that they deserve. Good music is good music, despite the genre, and I feel like the heavy scene puts on the best shows. Parkway Drive's milestone moment is proof that this music isn't just for the underground. It's here, it's loud, it's fast, and finally, it's getting the respect it deserves. And beyond the music itself, this moment is a win for Australian live production crew and talent. We have to support our own, and this is the best way to show it. A homegrown band playing at an Australian iconic venue, backed by local production teams and industry professionals, proves that our music scene isn't just talented, it has the infrastructure, expertise, and passion to stand among the best in the world. Now, of course, it's easy to say that Parkway Drive sold out or they didn't sound like what they used to, but that's not the point here. The point is that in Australia, we have the talent. We do not have a talent problem in our industry. We simply have a distribution problem. Now, for every Parkway Drive that we see explode into mainstream media, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of other local bands waiting for that opportunity. So the best thing you can do is go out and see a gig, buy their merch, support them on the foundational level, and we will have a strong and healthy music scene for the years to come. My name is Josh, and thank you for tuning into The Soundcheck. By the way, guys, my name is Josh Barnett. I'm a professional musician and cadet journalist here at Michael West Media. I'm currently running a series called The Soundcheck, which is a bit of a look into the Australian music industry. If you want to see a little bit more of this kind of stuff, feel free to subscribe below or hit us up on Patreon.